I have always been a rebel. Whenever I was told I couldn't do something, my first reaction was, watch me. I remember I was shopping one time with my mother and I found a top that came in 4 different colors. I'm in the dressing room and I'm looking at these 4 different colors, this beautiful yellow and this great teal and this purple and this emerald green, and I hear my mom outside on the bench of the dressing room. And as I'm making the decision of which one I want to buy, she says, well, you can't have all of them. Watch me. I had a media person tell me one time, women can't have it all. My reaction? I wrote a New York Times best-selling book called The Art of Having It All. My point is, something deep within me always knew that limits feel bad, and so does lack. And the reason for this is because lack and limitation is not the truth of who we are. I would bet any of you that whenever you feel limitation of any kind, you feel bad, because it's not who you are. The truth is, you and your life are unlimited, because we live in a universe that is unlimited. Modern physics has now proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that everything that appears to be static and material is actually made up of a sea of moving energy, including the flesh, bones, and molecules of our own physical bodies. But most of us still do not see ourselves through this expansive lens. Instead, we relate to ourselves and to life through a worldview that's as outdated and limited as the one that we held as truth 600 years ago when we believed that the world was flat. So I'm going to bridge the most grossly outdated notions about ourselves and about life that's standing in our way of knowing our full creative power and living the joyful, unlimited life, the experience of unlimitation that we all sense is possible within our hearts. So the first old worldview is I am a 3-dimensional being. What most of us acknowledge as reality is what we can see, taste, touch, hear, and smell. Our physical bodies qualify as real, as do the conditions and circumstances that we find ourselves in that determine how we feel. So for example, if we don't have enough money, we feel bad. If we find the love of our lives, we feel good. Our emotions are based on our 5 senses. And everything that can be perceived through your 5 senses only makes up 4% of what's really going on here. You are not simply a 3D person, a skin-encapsulated ego compressed into a flesh suit for the limited span of one human lifetime. In actuality, you are so much more. Our human experience takes place in both the outer world of form and phenomenon and in the inner world of energy. If you would turn your attention inward to yourself right now, you may begin to feel the pulsation of energy moving throughout your body. That's moving along with your breath. That's looking out from behind your eyes. Your body, your breath, as well as your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, your beliefs, your desires, are all energy. You are pure, unbounded consciousness, temporarily focused here and now in your physical body with your unique catalog of life experiences for the limitation of this human lifetime and for the enjoyment of this lifetime. Now, having heard that, you might be thinking, there might be part of you thinking, well, Christy, I certainly don't feel unbounded. I have bills to pay, I have a job to report to, kids to put through college, a retirement to fund. You fill in the blank. I get it. I was also programmed that in order for me to be happy, I had to work hard, get a degree, choose a career, find the perfect partner, have the perfect wedding, have my body look a certain way, have money in the bank. And you know what? By age 29, I had all of that and more. And I was so unhappy. I was so unfulfilled. I certainly did not feel like an unlimited person, and my life did not feel unlimited. And you know why? Because happiness is not about the accumulation of external things. It's an internal state of being that must be generated from within, period. To experience happiness or success or freedom or whatever you desire, we must look beyond just our physical senses alone. All the fulfillment and the sense of peace and joy and prosperity and flow and freedom is all waiting with those parts of you. And experiencing them is an inside job. So this brings me to the second old world view. I don't have any superpowers. When you start to know yourself as a multi-dimensional being, as consciousness pouring in your body, you will start to realize that you were literally born with superpowers. Each and every one of us has the ability to choose our thoughts, which determines our feelings, which affects our mood and attitude, and dictates the real-life outcomes that we ultimately create. Our superpower is that we have the ability to create our experience of reality in every moment. Each one of us are energy towers that are sending out a signal all day, every day, that the universe is responding to. We are not victims to some power outside of ourselves. We have the power within us to create our lives deliberately and on purpose. The energy that creates everything is flowing through us, and we're born with the power to direct it. So this brings me to the third old worldview, what I've been studying for 20 years, the perspective of lack and limitation. Apart from an understanding that it's our consciousness that creates our experience of reality, we view other people as competing with us for a limited amount of resources, opportunities, and advantages. Believing that there's only one pie and that we all have to fight for our share, our lives becomes this endless chase for the bigger house, the better job, the perfect partner, the next vacation. And when we get there, those things in and of themselves have no power to make us happy. Now, I am not saying that things of the material world are not great and something we can all enjoy. I enjoy a pretty pair of shoes, but I now know that these shoes is not the source of my happiness, nor do they define me. I saw written on a t-shirt once that money can't buy you happiness, but it can get your butt on the boat, and the rest is up to you. You see, we don't have a pie that we all have to share. We don't even have a pie for ourselves, and once that's gone, it's gone. We have a bakery. We can make as many pies as we want. We are meant to feel free. We are meant to feel expansive. We are meant to feel joy, because the divine inside of us is always in that place. And whenever you feel scarcity or limitation of any kind, you feel bad, and you are disconnected from that divine, unlimited part of you. So the Cliff Notes version of lack versus abundance, because I have entire books and courses on just this one universal law alone. Lack always feels bad. And abundance always feels good. And how you feel about any subject is your indication of what side of the spectrum you are on, and ultimately what you will continue to attract in your experience. That is your superpower. So I'd like you to consider that for the first part of your life, you thought you had to do life. You had to construct a persona, prove your worth, get past all your wounds, accumulate the right amount of stuff, and if you played your cards right, gratification would be your reward. And this is the mindset that is driving most people you and I know, and it's a form of mass hypnosis. Your senses may tell you that the world is flat, but it isn't. And in the same way, you are so much more than you now perceive yourself to be. The intelligence that has created all the worlds, that creates everything, is flowing through you. And your job is to receive it and allow it. You were never here to do life. You're here to allow life to do you. You're here because life desires to live through you. The divine desires to have tactile, sensual experiences through you. All that is, and the vastness of the universe chose you to live through. The exact expression of who you are in this lifetime to live through. So when you know yourself as a multi-dimensional being, and you understand you have superpowers and what they are and how to use them, and you shift from scarcity to lack, you will finally know yourself as you truly are, unlimited.